In this video, I'm going to help you with the construction of the shaft support. If you haven't done it already, make sure that you create a project based on this part. And also you want to use a standard millimeter.ipt because these dimensions are given in millimeters. So I want to start by creating a new 2D sketch. And since I want my final product to be oriented the same way as what's shown in the text, I want to create this first sketch on the top plane. And I'm going to create the base feature of the part. So I want to start with a circle centered at the origin, and then I will just draw some circles like this. Okay. Now these will eventually become arcs. So what I want to do right now is not worry about the dimensions, but let's apply some geometric constraints. Let's do a horizontal between this center point and the origin, and a horizontal between this point and the origin. Okay, and then let's just let's draw some lines, and I'm going to draw them a little longer than they need to be, and then apply some tangent constraints. And notice I'm not in any kind of way worried about placement. Now let me apply the tangent constraint between the lines and the circles. I'll do the same all the way around. Even if it looks like it's already tangent, go ahead and apply the tangent constraint, and it'll tell you if it's already there. So don't be afraid of that. All right. So now that I've done that, let me go around and trim or extend, depending on what I need to do, these line segments. So I'll go all the way around and do that. And then I want to trim the portions of the circles I no longer need. Okay, so now I have the arcs that I want. Okay, and let me, you have to be careful about this trim operation. Make sure that you get all the necessary parts. Okay, so it says I need 7 dimensions. All right, before I do that though, I know that this arc is equal to this arc in radius, and this arc is equal to this arc. So let me apply some equal constraints between here and here, and between here and here. All right. And now let me apply some other dimensions. I'll apply a dimension for this radius. And since I have the equal constraint, when I adjust this radius, this will also be adjusted. Same thing for this arc. Okay. Now it says I need 3 dimensions. I know one dimension I need will be between here and here. Another dimension I will need will be between here and here, and I'm actually going to use this as a centering dimension. Okay, so I'm going to apply this, but I'm going to click on that dimension and put divided by 2 to make sure that we're all centered up. And when I did that, I noticed I have a little line segment there that I haven't trimmed, so let me trim that off. And now it says I'm fully constrained. Okay, now if you're not fully constrained at this point, there's a good chance that you're either not extended all the way to the arc, or you extended past the arc and you have something that you need to trim. So I'm going to stop the video for a moment, go back and edit the dimensions that don't have an FX. Okay, so edit this dimension, and this dimension. If you constrained yours the same way as I did mine, I will do the same, and you want to extrude this by the thickness of the base of the part. And I'm going to stop the video and I'll catch up with you in a moment. Okay, so I've performed my extrusion. Now I want to go ahead and create the cylindrical part of the object. So the way I'll do that is I'll create a new 2D sketch, and I'm going to select the default the default YZ plane. Okay, and then I'm going to rotate my cube upright as it should be. Press F7 so I can see inside. Not that I really need to, but now I'll just draw a circle. Okay, now let's apply a vertical constraint between the origin and the circle. And this happens sometimes. I haven't figured this out, but it is obviously horizontal from the origin, which is not what I want. So let's apply a horizontal, and hopefully it'll end up vertical. You could also apply dimensions like a 0 dimension to get it in the same spot. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're given a dimension from the bottom surface of the object to the center point of the circle. So that's one dimension we'll place, and then we'll also place a diameter dimension. So now that our sketch is fully constrained, we'll edit the dimensions to what is shown in the text, and then extrude symmetrically by 40. So I'll let you adjust these dimensions on your own, and we'll do the extrusion together. Okay, so I edited the dimensions to reflect what is shown in the book. By the way, this dimension goes from the shown in the book goes from the bottom of the base to the center of the cylinder. not from the top of the base of the cylinder, center of the cylinder. So finish sketch, and then let's extrude symmetrically by a distance of 40, and then select OK. And now let's create the angled portion that meets the cylinder. So we'll do another sketch on the default YZ plane. And I'll press F7 so I can see the inside of the object. And then let me project geometry so I can have something to snap to. So I'll project all the geometry on that top edge. Not that I need all of it, but and now you want to make sure not to snap to an endpoint here. You just want to snap to a point on the line, but not necessarily an endpoint or a midpoint. Okay, so you don't want to see a green dot on this side. You just want to see it kind of turn colors. Now it says I need 4 dimensions. I'll probably need to go ahead and draw a line across here and across here. Okay, now it says I need 3 dimensions, and we can apply 1 here, and hopefully I'll apply 1 here, and I put a function on that. I did this function divided by, or this dimension divided by 2, and then I will apply a dimension from the bottom of the object, from the bottom of the object to this line. And now I'm fully constrained, and I'm ready to do my extrusion. Okay, and symmetrically by a distance of 18. Okay, now I want to stop here. I want to point something out. Now notice in the book that we have an edge right here. Okay, now a lot of times when you see a flat plane going into a cylinder, this edge will not be there. That is when the plane is tangent to the cylinder. In this case, we have an edge created here. All right. Now we're not given a dimension for that edge, so I have to assume that this edge is even with the center point of the cylinder. Okay, and let me go back and edit this sketch just so I can see if I can show you the difference on how that looks. So let me delete this line, and let me try to apply a tangent constraint just to show you the difference in the way these two would look. So now I have tangent edges turned on. Let me turn that off. So that's what it looks like shaded. Okay, so let me undo what I just did with the tangent and go back to the way it's supposed to be for this particular object. And now even with the shaded with edges turned off, with it just shaded, you can still see that edge there, and that's what you're supposed to see with this particular object. So that's the difference between a tangent and a not tangent. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the whole part of the cylinder. So I'll use the hole tool for that with a concentric reference. I'll click on this plane, click on the edge of the circle, and we need a diameter of 30. Okay, so now let's add the holes on the top of the object, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new 2D sketch here. Now the holes are concentric with the arcs that are already there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click point, I'm going to click on the center points of those 2 arcs and create 2 points. So finish sketch, and now I want to use the hole tool. And the hole tool, if you use points first, it will, when you start the hole tool with the from sketch option, it will automatically select the points as center points for the holes. So the diameter of these holes are 15, and the distance is through all, and select OK. So the last thing that we need to do is to apply fillets. Now the rule is you want to apply fillets or rounds before fillets, and in this case we need a radius of 3. So I want to place rounds first. Remember, rounds are the outside curves. So I'm going to apply those and the one around the edge here, and then click apply. And now I will apply the fillets where they need to be. And there we have our completed object. Now if you want to view that just shaded instead of shaded without shaded with edges, that's what the object looks like. So I hope this video helps you out, and that concludes this video.